Apparently, if I want to build my dream life where I am seen and appreciated for my natural talents and abilities, I have to heal my visibility wound. At least that's what my social media algorithms have been telling me. And so if you have nothing else to do at the moment, please consider staying a while, because this video is exposure therapy and I need to be perceived. The other day I was reading a Substack post titled, "I wrote down my dream life and 6 months later I was living it." And it included a detailed journaling exercise that the author used to construct this dream life. And I said, hey, this is the kind of activity that I need to be doing right now. So I sat down and I completed it. And I found it very helpful. So I decided to make a video telling you about it, because as a part of my aligned action, I am showing up more on YouTube, which means that I need to post consistently. And right now I'm a little lacking in ideas. I haven't really gotten much traction, so I don't really know what people want to see. And so all I got for you is what I have going on right now. I'm not going to go through my exact detailed answers to the exercise. I just wanted to give an overview of why I think it's beneficial and a few of my key takeaways and reflections. I resonated really deeply with something the author said about how generally when they're thinking about their wants and their manifestations, they keep things vague because it feels scary to write down a specific manifestation, because making it specific now means that there's also specific metrics for failure. But I came to the realization, in the same way that the author did, that if you cannot clearly visualize what it is that you're looking for, there's no way that you're able to accomplish it. And so yes, specific goals mean specific metrics for failure, but they also mean specific metrics for success, so that you can create a plan for how to accomplish those. Because another misconception that I used to have about manifestation, that I think a lot of people do as well, is that manifestation is like putting your wants out into the universe and having faith in whatever power you believe in that they're going to come true. But that's really only part of the story. Like, truly, for manifestation to work, you also have to be doing the work. There has to be aligned action to go along with the things that you desire. Because if you're not willing to put in the work, what makes you think that you deserve it? And if you're in a place where you have goals that you want to accomplish and you feel like you're ready to do that work, this exercise might be for you. It's broken down into 4 parts. The first is a look back on the past 12 months across all areas of life to give an honest reflection and evaluation of where you are in those areas, what you've done well, what you can improve, and ideally where you would like to be when you're living in your dream life and moving as your highest self. The second part is imagining the person that you're trying to become. And so it breaks it down in terms of thinking about these specific objectives for what you want to accomplish, as well as the type of person you want to be and what it will feel like when you are living that life. And that understanding of what it will feel like when you have the things that you're aspiring to is very important. And then part 3 is taking those objectives that you put in the second part and writing down these specific steps for how you will get from where you are today to where you are trying to get in the future. And this is the step where I generally have a lot of challenge, because as I said, I struggle with trying to manifest things specifically, or rather, I really shouldn't say that I struggle. It's just, I don't like to do it because I'm too scared of setting a specific goal and failing. And as long as the goal continues to be vague, it's like you can feel like you're moving closer to it if you're making any sort of progress. But in reality, you're not getting as close to those goals as you could if you set your metrics more specifically. And while this step was hard for me, and I'm obviously not going to know every single perfect move between now and where I'm trying to get, it did make me feel a lot more productive to think about all of the steps that I do currently know that I can take and that are in my power to do so. Because when you're looking at it all on a piece of paper, you realize there is a lot more that you could be doing that you probably aren't at the moment. And last is writing your declaration. When it comes to manifestation, when you're talking about being able to see yourself in that future life, you need to be able to speak to yourself as if you've already accomplished the goal. Because as you move through life and make decisions, you need to have that faith that whatever it is that you're working towards, it's already yours. You just have to go get it. And I spent a lot of time journaling, so I've done a lot of similar declaration type activities, and I'll be honest, they always feel silly to me. They still do to this day. But as I was completing this exercise, I was going through several of my past journals, just looking through different entries to reflect on, where I've been in the past year, and really actually the past several years. And I'll be honest, some of those declarations that I've written over time, did kind of come true. And it's nice to look back and see that I do actually have something to show for what I have done thus far in my life, because a lot of times I feel like I'm accomplishing nothing. If you want to complete this exercise in one sitting, you definitely want to allot at least a couple of hours so that you could sit and think very deeply about all of the questions. But it's not super difficult, so don't feel intimidated by it at all. I really like the way that it was broken down into these 4 parts, looking at the past, present, and future, because to know where you're trying to go, you have to know where you've been. And to know when you get there, you need to know what your destination looks like. And so I have to say there is some truth and validity to the specific manifestation technique. And so now I want to talk about some of my key takeaways from doing this exercise, because I think that my situation is very relatable to a lot of other people out there. I've mentioned on my YouTube channel before that I am a big fan of journaling, and these are all of the journals that I have completed in the past couple of years. And when I was doing the first section of this exercise, I was looking through all of these journals, just reflecting on what was going on in my mind through the different stages of life that I've experienced in the past couple of years, because I have been through a lot. I was working at a job that I really hated, feeling very confused about what I wanted to do with my life. And I was in a space where I was just doing a lot of complaining about it because I didn't really know what to do next. And then I got distracted from how much I was hating my life because my dad got sick and died. And then after that, I went on FMLA from work and came to the realization that I was not going to last much longer in my job because of how much I hated it, and my realization that life was too short after, the dead dad of it all. And then I came back from my FMLA and shortly after was laid off from said job. And since then I've been traveling the world trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. And right now I've been at home recuperating from my last trip, and I still haven't quite found that answer of what am I gonna do with my life? So that was kind of my starting point for doing this dream life exercise. I said my situation was gonna be relatable, and then I feel like that string of events is probably not that relatable, but that's not exactly what I meant. But anyway, the point is, after doing all of that digging through my journals, the main takeaway, an underlying theme that I noticed from my many entries, is that life has been trying to teach me the same lesson over and over and over and over and over again. And it just hasn't clicked yet. But I think it's finally starting to. And that lesson is the biggest obstacle between me and the things that I'm trying to accomplish is myself and my own inaction, because I am too indecisive, because I'm too afraid of making the wrong decisions. And the solution is to do more of things that feel like the right thing to do, no matter what subject or life area we're talking about. And that sounds quite obvious, but after reflecting on 3 years of journaling, I've been talking about it for 3 years. And even as I talk about it right now, only time will tell if I actually learn the lesson this time around. But never claim to be perfect. I'm just a girl trying like everybody else. Takeaway number 2 is that as much as I hate making specific goals, as I have reiterated multiple times in this video, it's something that I'm just going to have to learn to do, because I do a lot of goal setting and trying to improve upon myself. But I realize that because I don't make a lot of those goals very specific and measurable enough, that's why I feel like I'm not making any progress, because I don't have a very clear bar of what progress looks like for me. I just have like a vague idea of what I want it to feel like, and because I haven't felt that feeling yet, I feel like I've done nothing, but that's simply not the case. I want to fall somewhere between 2 types of goal setting that I've heard about. Like, a lot of people have heard of SMART goals, which is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. And that's the type of goal setting that they want you to do in corporate America that never really just worked for the way that my brain does. And then I remember in school learning about something called a B goal, and a B goal means better every day. And better everyday goals are things where you can make some form of progress any and every day. The metric of failure with a B goal is simply not trying. And as I did this exercise and as I move forward in my life, I'm trying to get some B goals that are a little bit more specific and measurable and maybe time-based, because I am unemployed and one of those goals is making money, and I'm not doing that right now. So we are on a little bit of a crunch. but like time-based in a very low pressure way. Otherwise, it's going to make me anxious and then I'm not going to be able to do the work that I got to do. And the last takeaway is that if you are an indecisive person like myself because you're too afraid of making the wrong decision, you need to understand that making the wrong decision is still better than making no decision, because if you do nothing, you will get nothing and go nowhere. I need to like tat that across my forehead because I waste so much fucking time. But like, this video is an example. I have been wanting to take YouTube seriously since I started my channel, I think going on 2 years ago now. And the thing that is stopping me is that I've just felt very stiff and rigid when it comes to making long form content. Even though I've been making short form talking head content for several years, something about YouTube just intimidated me. And so in a lot of the videos that I've posted so far, I don't particularly like them because I just feel like I was very stiff and rigid and uncomfortable, and they weren't like a good reflection of, you know, my personality and how I truly speak. And so to challenge myself to get more comfortable, I decided to turn me reading a Substack article into this video and try to record it in one take with as few cuts as possible so that I can stop overthinking trying to say everything perfectly and just get the message out, because ultimately that's the point. I'm going to be honest, this video is going to have cuts because I already know that I made far too many pauses for my liking and for my sanity. But it's definitely better than the last video I posted. So a win is a win. Practice makes perfect, and I gotta get over my fear of being seen trying. So thanks for coming to my TED Talk and giving me a little bit of your time. I realized I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Jillian. Welcome to my channel, Jillian by Design, where I am committed to living life by design and not by default, and documenting the process. Hopefully there's something that you took away from this video. Like the video if you liked it, leave a comment and let me know your favorite part, and subscribe for more. Bye.